Hi. I just warmed up my coffee and poured hot blistering coffee all down my hand. Don't you love it when I start my day off with a wine? Maybe I need to start my day off with wine, and then it wouldn't be too bad. It hurt. And now I have a sore finger and a sore finger over here. All right. Good morning. Welcome to Devotions. It's today about, oh, girls. Today's a big one. All right. March 26th. March 26th. Do you realize it's almost April? I don't know how that happened. Oh, but that means it's almost summer vacation, and that means we can stop homeschool. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I like lazy days of no responsibility for other people. Makes less responsibility for KJ. All right. Kings defeated west of the Jordan. Jordan 12, 7 through 24. The following is a list of the kings that Joshua and the Israelite armies defeated on the west side of the Jordan, from Baal Gad in the valley of Lebanon to Mount Halak, which leads up to Seir. Joshua gave this land to the tribes of Israel as their possession, including the hill country, the western foothills, the Jordan Valley, the mountain slopes, the Judean wilderness, and the Negev. The people who lived in this region were the Hittites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. These are the kings Israel defeated: the king of Jericho, the king of Ai near Bethel, the king of Jerusalem, the king of Hebron, the king of Jarmuth, the king of Lachish, the king of Eglon, the king of Gezer, the king of Deber, the king of Geder. Sounds like a green eggs and ham guy poem. The king of Hormah, the king of Arid, the king of Libnah, the king of Adullam, the king of Makkedah, the king of Bethel, the king of Tappuah, the king of Hether, the king of Aphek, the king of Lasharon, the king of Maden, the king of Hazor, the king of Shimron Meron, the king of Akshaph, the king of Tanakh, the king of Megiddo, the king of Kadesh, the king of Jotneam and Carmel, the king of Dor in the town of Naphoth Dor, the king of Goyim and Gilgal, and the king of Tirzah. In all, 31 kings were defeated. The land yet to be conquered, Joshua 13, 1 through 7. When Joshua was an old man, the Lord said to him, "You are growing old, and much land remains to be conquered. This is the territory that remains: all of the regions of the Philistines, the Geshurites, the larger territory of the Canaanites, extending from the stream of Shihor on the border of Egypt, northward of the boundary of Ekron. It includes the territory of the 5 Philistine rulers of Gaza, Ashdod, Ashkelon, Gath, and Ekron. The land of the Avites in south also remains to be conquered. In the north, the following area has not yet been conquered: all in the land of the Canaanites, including Mearah, which belongs to the Sidonians, stretching northward to Aphek on the border of the Amorites, the land of the Gibeonites, and all of the Lebanon Mountains area to the east, from Baal Gad below Mount Hermon to Lebo Hamath, and in all the hill country from Lebanon to Misrephoth Maim, including the land of the Sidonians. I myself will drive these people out of the land ahead of the Israelites, so be sure to give this land to Israel as a special possession, just as I have commanded you. Include all of this territory as Israel's possession when you divide this land among the 9 tribes and the half-tribe of Manasseh." The land divided east of the Jordan. Joshua 13, 8 through 13. Half the tribe of Manasseh and the tribes of Reuben and Gad had already received their grants of land on the east side of the Jordan, for Moses, the servant of the Lord, had previously assigned this land to them. This territory extended from Aroer on the edge of the Arnon Gorge, including the town in the middle of the gorge, to the plain of beyond Medeba as far as Dibon. It also included all the towns King Sihon of the Amorites, who had reigned in Heshbon, and extended as far as the borders of Ammon. It included Gilead, the territory of the kingdoms of Geshur and Makkah, all of Mount Hermon, all of Bashan as far as Selecah, and all the territory of King Og of Bashan, who had reigned in Ashtaroth, and Edrei. King Og was the last of the Rephaites, for Moses had attacked them and driven them out. But the Israelites failed to drive out the people of Geshur and Makkah, so they continue to live among the Israelites to this day. An inheritance for the tribe of Levi, Joshua 13:14. Moses did not assign any allotment of land to the tribe of Levi. Instead, as the Lord had promised, their allotment came from the offerings burned on the altar to the Lord, the God of Israel. The land given to the tribes of Reuben, Joshua 13:15-23. Moses had assigned the following area to the clans of the tribe of Reuben. Their territory extended from Aroer on the edge of the Arnon Gorge, including the town in the middle of the gorge, to the plain beyond Medeba. It included Heshbon and the other towns on the plain: Dibon, Bamoth, Baal, Beth Baal Meon, Jahaz, Kedemoth, Mephath, Kiriathaim, Sibmah, Zareth Shahar on the hill above the valley, Beth Peor, the slopes of Pisgah, and Beth Jeshimoth. The land of Reuben also included all the towns on the plain and the entire kingdom of Sihon. Sihon was the Amorite king who had reigned in Heshbon and was killed by Moses, along with the leaders of Midian, Evi, Rechem, Zur, Hur, and Reba. Princes living in the region were allied with Sihon. The Israelites had also killed Balaam, son of Beor, who used magic to tell the future. The Jordan River marked the western boundary for the tribe of Reuben. The towns and their surrounding villages in this area were given as a homeland to the clans of the tribe of Reuben. The land given to the tribe of Gad, Joshua 13:24-28. Moses had assigned the following area to the clans of the tribe of Gad. Their territory included Jazer, all the towns of Gilead, the half of the land of Ammon, as far as the town of Aroer, just west of Rabbah. It extended from Heshbon to Ramoth Mizpah, and Betonim from Mahanaim to the territory of Lo-debar. In the valley were Beth Haram, Beth Nimrah, Succoth, Zaphon, and the rest of the kingdom of King Sihon of Heshbon. The western boundary ran along the Jordan River, extended as far north as the tip of the Sea of Galilee, and then turned eastward. The towns and their surrounding villages in this area were given as a homeland to the clans of the tribe of Gad. The land given to the half-tribe of Manasseh, Joshua 13:29-33. Moses had assigned the following area to the clans of the half-tribe of Manasseh. Their territory extended from Mahanaim, including all of Bashan, all of the former kingdom of King Og, and the 60 towns of Jair and Bashan. It also included half of Gilead and King Og's royal cities of Ashtaroth and Edrei. All of this was given to the clans of the descendants of Machir, who was Manasseh's son. These are the allotments Moses had made while he was on the plains of Moab, across the Jordan River, east of Jericho. But Moses gave no allotment of land to the tribe of Levi, for the Lord, the God of Israel, had promised that he himself would be their allotment. The land divided west of the Jordan River, Joshua 14:1-5. The remaining tribes of Israel received land in Canaan as allotted by Eleazar the priest, Joshua the son of Nun, and the tribal leaders. These 9.5 tribes received their grants of land by means of sacred lots in accordance with the Lord's command through Moses. Moses had already given a grant of land to the 2.5 tribes on the east side of the Jordan River, but he had given the Levites no such allotment. The descendants of Joseph had become 2 separate tribes, Manasseh and Ephraim, and the Levites were given no land at all, only towns to live in, with surrounding pasture lands for their livestock and all of their possessions. So the land was distributed in strict accordance with the Lord's commands to Moses. Caleb requests his land, Joshua 14:6-15. A delegation from the tribe of Judah, led by Caleb, son of Jephunneh, the Kenizzite, came to Joshua at Gilgal. Caleb said to Joshua, "Remember what the Lord said to Moses, the man of God, about you and me when we were at Kadesh Barnea. I was 40 years old when Moses, the servant of the Lord, sent me from Kadesh Barnea to explore the land of Canaan. I returned and gave an honest report, but my brothers who went with me frightened the people from entering the promised land. For my part, I wholeheartedly followed the Lord my God. So the day Moses solemnly promised me the land of Canaan, on which you were just walking, will be your grant of land, and that your descendants forever, because you wholeheartedly followed the Lord my God. Now, as you can see, the Lord has kept me alive and well, as he promised, for all these 45 years since Moses made this promise, even while Israel wandered in the wilderness. Today I am 85 years old. I am strong now I am as strong now as I was when Moses sent me on this journey, and I can still travel and fight as well as I could then. So give me the hill country that the Lord promised me. You will remember that as scouts we found the descendants of Anak living there in great walled towns. But if the Lord is with me, I will drive them out of the land just as the Lord said. So Joshua blessed Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and gave Hebron to himself, and gave Hebron to him as his portion of the land. Hebron still belongs to the descendants of Caleb, son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite, because he wholeheartedly followed the Lord, the God of Israel. Previously, Hebron had been called Kiriath Arba. It had been named after Arba, a great hero of the descendants of Anak. And the land had rest from war. The land given to the tribe of Judah, Joshua 15, 1 through 22. The allotment for the clans of the tribe of Judah reached southward in the border of Edom, as far south as the wilderness of Zin. The southern boundary began as a south bay of the Dead Sea, ran south of Scorpion Pass into the wilderness of Zin, and went south of Kadesh Barnea to Hezron. Then it went up to Adar, where it turned toward Karka. From there, it passed Asman until it finally reached the brook of Egypt, which it followed to the Mediterranean Sea. This was their southern boundary. The eastern boundary extended along the Dead Sea to the mouth of the Jordan River. The northern boundary began at the bay where the Jordan River empties into the Dead Sea, went up from there to Beth Hogla, and then proceeded north to Beth Araba, to the stone of Bohan. Bohan was Reuben's son. From that point, it went through the valley of Achor to Debir, turning north towards Gilgal, which is across from the slopes of Adumim. That's a lot of M's. Adumim. On the south side of the valley. From there, the boundary extended to the springs at En Shemesh and on to En Rogel. The boundary then passed through the valley of Ben Hinnom along the southern slopes of the Jebusites, where the city of Jerusalem is located. Then it went to the top of the mountain above the valley of Hinnom and up onto the north end of the valley of Rephaim. From there, the boundary extended to the top of the mountain of the spring of the waters of Nephtoah, and from there the towns of Mount Ephraim. Then it turned toward Bela, that is Kiriath Jearim. The boundary circled west of Bela to Mount Seir, passed along the town of Kesalon and on the north slope of Mount Jearim, and went down to Beth Shemesh and on to Timnah. The boundary then proceeded to the slope of the hill north of Ekron, where it turned towards Shikharon and Mount Bela. It passed Jabneel and ended at the Mediterranean Sea. The western boundary was the shoreline of the Mediterranean Sea. These are the boundaries for the clans of the tribe of Judah. The land given to Caleb, Joshua 15, 13 through 19. I've got a wee tickle. All right. The Lord commanded Joshua to assign some of Judah's territory to Caleb, son of Jephunneh. So Caleb was given the town of Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron, which had been named after Anak's ancestor. Caleb drove out the three groups of the Anakites, the descendants of Sheshai, Ahiman, and Talmai, the son of Anak. From there he went to fight against the people living in the town of Debir, formerly called Kiriath Sefer. Caleb said, I will give my daughter Aksa in marriage to the one who attacks and captures Kiriath Sefer. Othniel, the son of Caleb's brother Kenaz, was the one who conquered it, so Aksa became Othniel's wife. When Aksa married Othniel, she urged him to ask her father for a field. As she got down off her donkey, Caleb asked her, What's the matter? She said, Give me another gift. You have already given me the land and the Negev. Now please give me springs of water too. So Caleb gave her the upper and lower springs. Okay. I know. I've thought from time to time, Lois, it would be fun, may not be the right word, interesting to take like a map and like draw those boundaries. Like, probably wouldn't be that fun, but it might be interesting. All right, we are on page 18 of our book on the point to ponder. Have you ever experienced well-doing weariness? Often, when we are feeling weary in doing what others consider ministry, are we, in fact, the yielding to the plans of man instead of God? Are we being borrowed away from the one who purchased us and his perfect plan for our lives? Are we becoming enslaved to man's agenda, as we are warned in 1 Corinthians 7:23, rather than God's? If this describes you, be careful, because the borrowed feeling often precedes the emptiness. Emptiness is a feeling that comes from no oil in the house. Have you ever felt like you were running on empty? How did this happen? How have you ministered to others but now feel empty and drained yourself in the presence of God in your own life? How do you feel void of the Spirit of God working in you? In week 2 of our study, we will address oil leaks in our house. Often we lose oil when we are borrowed out and not walking according to God's plan for our lives. As you pray and journal this week, seek God sincerely concerning your agenda. Have you taken on tasks he didn't ask you to take? Have you lost proper perspective in all of your going and doing? Are you guarding the oil? We all have responsibilities that are part of life. We are to provide for and take care of our families. But are you running to and fro trying to please others at the expense of your family and the ministry God has entrusted to your care? Are you feeling weary and borrowed instead of joyful and fulfilled in your calling? If so, perhaps you have been borrowed away from his plan for your life. Seek the Lord sincerely for direction, and he will lead you, and you will find that place of refreshing again in him. That's perfect on its own. You're going to take us 3 weeks to get through the first week. It's good. It's good. All right. That's a message I often ask myself, and one that I fight with constantly. Like, am I doing what God wants for this business, or am I just doing to do? Like, what is it God really wants from this ministry? And am I seeking him in it or seeking my own fulfillment? So, anywho, yay, Tammy. I haven't done my taxes yet. I'm too scared. What if I have to pay in? I paid in so much all last year. I'm so scared to do my taxes. I'm just waiting on one piece of paper from my accountant, and then I can do it, and I'm so scared. I don't want to do them because if I owe money, I'm going to cry. Oh, Tammy. We will be praying for Maria. Oh, I know. Well, I've been paying in. Like, I haven't been able to do them yet. I've been waiting. QuickBooks messed up my books like royally. I was paying them $400 a month to take care of my books, and they did not do a good job. And so my new accountant person had to go in and like change everything, and it's taking a while because they were such a mess. That is the second time I've had an accountant. Like, I had a company try to fix my books and didn't do a very good job, and then charged me $6,000. And then QuickBooks said they had to fix a bunch of stuff, and now somebody else is fixing what QuickBooks messed up. Why is it so hard? It shouldn't be this hard. So, anywho, enough of that. No, nobody likes to talk about taxes. Let's move on. All right, let's go ahead and end in prayer. God, our Father, we thank you for our time together. I thank you for this community and the support and the love and the encouragement and the hope that they bring to each other. And thank you that you have brought this community together. And I just pray that this ministry and all of this is honoring to you in everything that we do. God, I pray today for Maria. I pray for peace of heart for her and just strength and encouragement to her today during such a difficult season and receiving such hard to hear news. God, we just lift her up to you and ask for your peace that passes understanding. God, we also pray for April and her mom today and for the scans that she is having done, and we ask for clear scans. And we also ask for wisdom for them as they proceed with whatever the outcome of the scans are. God, I just pray as we go forward on this Wednesday that you will help us to be wise with everything that we do, whether it's with our money, our words, our actions, our food choices, that you will just help us to honor you and make choices that build the kingdom, that heal our temples, and prepare us for service to you, our God. In your precious name, amen. All right. Yes, Mary. All right. Well, I think I'm going to have a good old peanut butter and jelly sandwich this morning for breakfast. Hopefully, you'll join me and I can walk you through the difficult process so that you all know how to appropriately put together a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Hope you'll join me. If not, well, fine. I'll catch you tomorrow. I love you, girls. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.